These are two types of lettuce that look almost identical on your plate, but have wildly different track records when it comes to making people sick. Romaine and iceberg lettuce are responsible for some of the largest foodborne illness outbreaks in American history, and right now, in the summer of 2026, we are living through the biggest one yet. Let me break this down for you. Between 2009 and 2018, the FDA and the CDC identified 40 foodborne outbreaks linked to leafy greens in the United States. Those outbreaks caused over 1,200 illnesses, 420 hospitalizations, and 8 deaths. And when researchers looked at which specific lettuce was responsible, the numbers were not even close. 54% of outbreaks were linked to romaine. Iceberg and spinach were each responsible for just 17%. Now here is what makes that so strange. During most of that decade, more iceberg lettuce was grown and sold in America than romaine. So the less popular lettuce was causing 3 times more outbreaks. Why? Let's start with the obvious difference you can see with your own eyes. Romaine is tall with loosely clumped leaves that are open at the top. Iceberg is compact, tight, sealed up like a ball. That physical structure matters more than you might think because it determines how easily pathogens can reach the edible surfaces. Romaine's open architecture gives bacteria more entry points, more surface area to cling to, and more crevices where contaminants can hide. But it goes deeper than shape. Romaine has a higher respiration rate than iceberg, which means it needs to be cooled faster after harvest, or it deteriorates quickly. And USDA researchers discovered something remarkable about timing. E. coli survived on average 5.6 times better on romaine harvested in the fall compared to romaine harvested in late spring. That seasonal pattern lines up perfectly with outbreak data. The worst romaine outbreaks consistently hit during or just after fall harvest seasons. Now let's talk about where this lettuce actually comes from, because geography is everything in this story. Over 90% of America's romaine lettuce comes from just 2 regions. The Salinas Valley in California handles summer and fall production. Yuma, Arizona takes over during winter months. In fact, the Yuma growing region alone produces 90% of the leafy green vegetables Americans eat during winter. Both of these regions share a critical problem. They have large-scale cattle operations located near lettuce fields. E. coli 0157H7, the pathogen behind most deadly lettuce outbreaks, lives in the intestines of cattle. The animals aren't sick from it, they shed it through their feces, and from there it gets into irrigation water, it gets carried by wildlife, it runs off during flooding. Food safety attorney Bill Marler put it bluntly, these outbreaks will keep happening unless we deal with the environmental contamination caused by growing lettuce in close proximity to cattle. And here's the part that should genuinely concern you. Washing your lettuce does not solve this problem. E. coli can attach to leaf surfaces and in some cases actually enter the plant through its root system and travel into the internal tissue of the leaves. Research from Cornell University found that roughly 52% of E. coli illnesses from romaine are attributable to overhead spray irrigation, which maximizes contact between contaminated water and the plant. Once those bacteria are inside the leaf tissue, no amount of rinsing at your kitchen sink is getting them out. The 2018 Yuma outbreak showed just how devastating this can get. 240 people across 37 states were infected with E. coli 0157H7 from romaine lettuce. 96 were hospitalized. 27 developed hemolytic uremic syndrome, a type of kidney failure. 5 people died. The severity was staggering. The rate of kidney failure was twice as high as previous E. coli outbreaks, and the death rate was nearly 4 times higher than expected. It was the largest outbreak of its kind since the deadly 2006 spinach crisis. And then it happened again. The same strain caused another multi-state outbreak later that year, and again in 2019. Fall of 2019 saw 3 simultaneous outbreaks, linked to Romaine from the Salinas Valley, sickening 188 people combined. But here is where the story takes a turn. Because while Romaine has dominated the outbreak headlines for a decade, the largest lettuce-related outbreak in American history is happening right now, and it involves iceberg. In July 2026, the FDA and the CDC identified shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations as the source of a massive Cyclospora outbreak across 5 states. As of the latest count, 1,644 cases have been confirmed, but officials estimate nearly 7,000 people may have been sickened. Michigan alone has reported over 5,000 cases with 102 hospitalizations. This has already surpassed the previous U.S. record for Cyclospora infections. The lettuce was traced to a single grower in central Mexico operating under Taylor Farms de México. And this is where the story gets infuriating. Taylor Farms was connected to an almost identical outbreak 13 years ago. In 2013, 631 people across 25 states were sickened by Cyclospora in a salad mix linked to Taylor Farms de México. Many of those cases came from people who ate at Olive Garden and Red Lobster. After that 2013 outbreak, the FDA issued no administrative or regulatory action against the company. Taylor Farms was also behind a 2024 recall of raw onions linked to E. coli in McDonald's Quarter Pounders that caused 104 illnesses and 1 death. And in 2017, they recalled thousands of pounds of chicken and pork salad products over listeria concerns. The pattern is hard to ignore. This brings up the bigger systemic issue. Bill Marler compared bagged salad to swimming in a public pool with 500 people, and the analogy is apt. The bagged salad industry is highly consolidated. A small number of massive processing facilities handle produce from many different farms. Everything gets washed, cut, mixed, and packaged together. When contaminated product enters one of these facilities, cross-contamination can spread across enormous batches. That is why recalls frequently cover huge volumes across dozens of states. And here is something that might surprise you. Between 2015 and 2024, approximately 240 packaged salad products were recalled due to potential listeria contamination alone. Around 260 Americans die from listeria every year. Leafy greens as a category may be responsible for over 2 million illnesses annually, with an economic cost of $5.28 billion. So what is actually being done about this? After the devastating 2018 and 2019 outbreaks, the FDA released its Leafy Greens STEC action plan in 2020, focusing on prevention, response, and addressing knowledge gaps. California and Arizona created leafy green marketing agreements to set food safety standards. The FDA has conducted targeted sampling of farms in the Salinas Valley and worked with the EPA on protocols for reducing bacteria in agricultural water. But transparency remains a problem. In 2024, an outbreak linked to Romaine killed 1 person and sickened at least 88 others, including a 9-year-old boy who nearly died of kidney failure. The FDA closed its investigation without publicly detailing what happened or naming the companies responsible. So where does this leave us? Romaine remains statistically the most outbreak-prone lettuce variety, responsible for over half of identified leafy green outbreaks, despite being less widely grown than iceberg for most of the past 2 decades. Its open leaf structure, higher respiration rate, geographic concentration, and proximity to cattle operations all contribute to that risk. But as the 2026 Taco Bell outbreak proves, iceberg is far from safe, especially when supply chains extend into regions with less oversight. The uncomfortable truth is that leafy greens, the food we are constantly told to eat more of, are among the highest risk items in the American food supply. They are eaten raw with no kill step. They are grown in open fields exposed to every environmental hazard. and they are processed in facilities where one contaminated batch can affect millions of servings. Until the fundamental issues of where and how we grow lettuce are addressed, the recalls will keep coming.